Hello, and welcome to the Experience Local with Russ and Scott. Each week, they bring you conversations with local Christian businesses and business owners. Join in every Monday live at 9 a.m. Pacific on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook. Listen to the program on Spotify or wherever you listen to fine podcasts. The Experience Local is brought to you each week by wonderful sponsors.
Copper Rock Real Estate, commercial and residential real estate in the Mid-Willamette Valley. Contact Shelley Henderson, 503-881-7399, or online, copperrockrealty.com. Boson Hub wants you to know about Showing Up Perspectives on Cancer and the in-person event, October 3rd through 5th in Garrison, New York. Contact Russ Hedge to learn more. Email russ@russhedge.com. Independent Merchant Brokers, innovative solutions for your payment processing needs. Learn more at independentmerchantbrokers.com or call 877-460-4747. The Arbor at Avamere Court in Kaiser provides memory care. And enjoy independent living at Avamere at Albany. Learn more online, arbor@avamerecourt.com or avamere@albany.com. Discover Oregon Real Estate, your statewide experts in luxury home sales, farm, ranch, commercial, business, and land development. Online at dore.llc or call 503-299-9070.
And now, your hosts for the Experience Local, Russ and Scott.
Well, I'm going to be flying solo for a little bit this day. D. Scott here, and welcome to the Experience Local. And our guest today, James Bonds, and we've been having a great conversation. You're going to enjoy the conversation we have. We've already found some great commonality. He has recently moved to the town that I grew up in, and I drove right past where he's living regularly. So we're going to have fun talking about that. You're going to be inspired. We were talking about faith, life, this whole integration with family and work. How do you do that? And we've got an experienced, trained coach to be able to join us today. Russ is out today getting a scan. And so continue to pray for Russ in his health. And he was a speaker at the Perspectives on Cancer there that you saw promoted. And I just want to say thank you to all of our sponsors, to Copper Rock Real Estate, to CASA, to Boson Hub, to the Arbor at Avamere Court, Independent Merchant Brokers, Avamere at Albany, and Discover Oregon Real Estate. All great folks that have sponsored the show. We are live every Monday at 9 a.m. Pacific time. That's 11 here in Texas, in Waco, Texas. And I'm going to have fun, again, talking with James about the Texas-Oregon connection as we have swapped places, swapped states. And you can find us at the experience.video. And go right to our YouTube channel. I encourage you to subscribe. If you want to learn more, go to local.theexperience.video. That's a website, and you can read all about the program there. You can join our YouTube channels. Share what your YouTube channel is. We would love to subscribe back and help each other out with that. You can find LinkedIn links for both Russ and I, as well as books that we've written. So my book on business networking is there, as well as Russ's first book, Befuddled, Live the Life You Choose. And his new book is going to be coming out soon. And so if you click on his book, it'll take you to Amazon. Click on his name. That's going to take you to his author page. Hit subscribe. Then you're going to get notification when the new book, Life Happens, and Then You Choose, is released. And that release is coming up soon. I encourage you to be a part of that. But with that, I want to thank everybody for joining us today, but especially Coach James. And welcome to the Experience Local, Coach.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm honored to be here and glad to be able to share this morning to uplift those who are listening and just kind of pondering through the day and not sure what they're supposed to be doing in life. So I'm glad that God has allowed us to get together to share what we've learned and our irritations and our headaches and our experiences.
I love it. Yeah, that's true. That is a part of life, right? There's some very clear verses in the Bible that talk about that.
Yes, exactly. There is.
So, as I mentioned, you moved to Corvallis recently, and I grew up in Corvallis. I grew up in South Corvallis. My uncle had gone to Oregon State University after his time in the Marine Corps to study engineering and run track. When my dad got out of the Army, my uncle helped him get a job at a civil engineering company. And then he later on went to Oregon State University. We won't talk about the football team because there's nothing to talk about there.
Yeah, no, there is not. The girls' basketball. Let's stay on that.
There you go. Yeah, move along. There's nothing to be seen here. But you were recently in Dallas, Texas.
Yes,
and that is just 90 minutes north of where I'm living here in Waco.
Exactly.
So let's talk about let's get your background. Where, Coach, tell us about yourself. Tell us about your journey. How do you got to where you're at, and who you're helping?
Yeah, this is actually state number 9 for me.
Okay.
In my journey in life. Started out, after college, I started out being in retail, of course, and stayed in retail. And then in 2007, I had a life-altering financial situation with an ex-partner of mine, and so I had to do some prayer and meditation, some just life pondering, and then the Holy Spirit was clear. He said, "Okay, well, it's life coaching. What is life coaching?" So my attorney we were friends also. He said, "Yeah, you got to find something different. You got to reinvent yourself." I said, "Well, life." He said, "Something coming up called life coach. I heard about it at my last law conference." I'm like, "What do you mean life? What's life coaching?" So it's different from consulting, so prayed about it, and Holy Spirit was clear. This is what you need to do. This is what you were sent here to do. All this time you're journeying in retail and other spaces, this is what you're sent here to do. So started coaching my coaching company in November of 2008. So it'll be 17 years now. And so what I found is that my gifting, my purpose in life is simple. I want to go to bed every night empty and void of every gift I was given, because somebody's going through something and needs something that I have, and I don't have a right to keep it. So my philosophy is simple. I live by it. I need to go to bed empty and give my gifts away to somebody who's in need of them, because people are hurting so much. So my client base is 60% CEO and one-on-ones. And then 40% is group coaching, sales training, leadership development, conflict resolution, keynote speaking, the women's empowerment conferences. And so that's the other 40%. And so I found that, the world is in a bad place right now, and people don't realize that they just need to focus. They need to sit down. They need to really kind of hone in on what they're supposed to do. So, and my book came out, it's been just about 2 years ago now. And it's called Discover Your Purpose. And it was a blessing, beyond a blessing, because in 45 days, I got a letter from Amazon, said, "You're already on a bestseller track." And I'm like, wow, 45 days with no advertising. So, which is kind of scary. And so everybody who reads it is always like, this book has changed my whole trajectory. And that's just that. I couldn't ask for that, because it's not my doing, it's the Lord's doing. So it's just really interesting how people are just because the world is a noisy place, not meaning just noise, but like noise. The earth is groaning, of course, because it's dying. Naturally, we need to, as believers, we understand what that means, another level. And so, we have to understand that noise needs to be quieted. Noise needs to be put in a steadfast place. And you do that through your focus on the Lord. And I have clients of all different religions, all different faiths, and so forth. I let them know who I am, and I just let them know how I'm grounded. And I'm able to help them out, because I've also taken time to study their religions as well. So that way I'm not, I'm giving a non-bias, I'm giving a informed information to them on their pain, on their process, and so forth.
Yeah, we have our responsibility for stewardship of the knowledge, the skills, the talents that we have. But we let God do the work. Right?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, we have no power without him. So that's for sure.
But you have formal training as a minister.
Yes. Yes, I'm also in coaching wise, I'm a John Maxwell certified coach. I'm on John Maxwell's team as well.
That's a strong brand name, by the way, in coaching, right?
Yes, I mean, it is. I mean,
it doesn't get much better.
I looked at all of them and I'm like, I need somebody foundation wise that's similar to my foundation. Of course, as we know, John was a pastor for over 30 years and then got to the leadership world and it's written over 360, almost 400 books now, actually. And so his whole conversation about coaching is based off of the word and majority off of Proverbs. And so that's what I've done. And also as far as ministry wise too, I attended global seminary, which is part of evangelical, part of Assemblies of God. And so I've been ordained since 2015. Okay. And so I'm also just finished up also at Light and Regis University. I'm an avid learner. So
you're a serial relocator and a serial learner.
Because it's funny. My dad's a pastor, but he always told us all that you need to learn every day. Once you stop learning, you're wasting somebody's air. So I'm always an avid learner. So I took a course like a couple of years ago now. I took another course again recently, but I'm also an emotional intelligence practitioner, what that means. But it's also based off of faith-based training, because people just don't know what their EQ is, which is intelligence, what their IQ is,
right, and
what their SQ is. SQ is your spiritual intelligence.
Okay, all right. It's fun to see how God's wisdom in the Bible is actually very practical.
Yes.
So with no refrigeration, it was a good idea to not eat shellfish.
That's right. That's right.
I mean, it's just it's just like, why are you stopping me from getting sick? Come on, I haven't had a good case of botulism in years.
That's right.
So, but let's talk about this coaching and integration of faith in your family.
Yes. And it's funny because I'll tell a quick story about that John told a few years back when I got on his team, that he was brought in. He was asked to come over to the Middle East to discuss leadership, and he says, "Well, I'm kind of nervous because they told me that they can't guarantee my protection if I talk about the Bible, because it's in some parts, of course, is illegal over there." And so he's like, "Well, what I teach about leadership is from Proverbs." So he says, "Well, the Lord said go." So he went. And he said he's coming back from going to the airport, and he just started laughing. So his assistant was like, "What are you laughing about?" He said, "The Holy Spirit just reminded me that I taught these guys the book of Proverbs, and they have no idea what I taught them, but I taught them the book of Proverbs." So my fear was false based, because I was thinking, well, they're going to get me because how do they know I'm teaching the Bible if they don't know the Bible? So that's one thing that I was looking at that story. I was laughing at that story because it's so true. Because we know the word is living. So, with me, I basically, again, let clients know where my foundation is, but also not trying to convert anybody. But I'm just trying to let them know this is where I'm coming from. This is my basis. And so when I start teaching them about, some people call it work-life balance, which I haven't mastered either in all these years.
Right.
So,
yeah.
But
we believe in integration.
Exactly. And it's funny because not funny how, but funny scary to me, because 90% plus, I would say 90% plus, if not more, of my 17 years of coaching, client-wise, it always goes back to someone lied to them at some point in their life. And what I mean by that is that someone told them at some point that they weren't good enough, that they weren't ever going to be anybody. And so I remind them that we all were sent here to earth for a purpose. We need to find that purpose. And so what I tell them, it's like so much, let's go back, let's trace back. And it's painful because I tell my clients also, the first 30 days, you probably won't like me because I have to find that point. I have to take you back to that point where somebody lied to you and you believed it.
Mm-hmm.
And most of the time it's that 8-year-old. I'm also big into this whole function of cognitive thinking and brain function. So we start getting programmed, so to speak, of who we're going to be at 8, 9 years old, according to research. And so at that point, most of my clients find out it's that same age, 8, 9 years old, when someone told them that they weren't good enough, that they weren't going to be anything. And then I was teaching years ago at this university, and they were just sitting there. Even the professors, they were stunned because they were like, "I never knew that." Do you know that in the U.S. mainly, but worldwide, the U.S. mainly, that by the time we're 17 years old, we're told no, stop, you can't, or don't 150,000 times on average. 150,000 times. We're told yes, you can, go ahead 5,000 times.
Oh my gosh.
Just imagine,
Yeah.
that's 30, that's 30,000 difference in that. That's insane to me. But it's because, they pass down their pain. We all tend to do it at some point. We pass down our dysfunction, not knowing that we need to get healed from it first. So from that point, I take my clients back. I remember recently that I took a gentleman back. This is a pretty powerful CEO in the United States here, a pretty powerful person financial-wise, and took him back, and his uncle told him at 8 years old that he was stupid and he was not learning. And when we went back to that point, he sat in his chair. He cried for probably 20, 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And it's like, I need to take you to the spot because your uncle lied to you. Now, your uncle may love you, but he lied to you. All because of his personal pain, whatever you did time dealing with. He said, yeah, so how was your uncle's life? Okay, yeah, he struggled with this addiction. So you were present for him to release his pain on you. So let's do two things. First thing, let's forgive your uncle. He says, what? I said, yeah, let's forgive your uncle. Because your uncle was not intentionally, he was driven by pain. And as believers, we know, a little deeper on that for a second, we know that the enemy will always try to tell us that if you make his life or her life worse, I'll ease your pain, which is a lie. That's another story. But we tend to do that. So, and also the second step is to tell your uncle to his face, so to speak. He's passed on, but just tell him that you lied to me and I don't believe you. And so now we get a chance to grow from that point. Now, the third step is to take that little boy, little girl's hand, whoever it may be, and then you grab their hand, just literally physically grab the hand, metaphorically, so to speak, and then you move them until today. Let them know that you have them, you've got them covered, you're praying for them, that you're sorry that you believe that somebody lied. I mean, it's things that we have to be able to do because we have to bring ourselves into our new self, because there's nothing about our lives that we should think that we're not good enough. Because the Lord made us in his image. How can we not be good enough? How dare we not say we're not good enough? Now we have to learn, we have to adjust and use our pain points to benefit ourselves, but also benefit others, more importantly.
Just to remind everybody on the Experience Local with Russ and Scott, we've got John Maxwell certified coach, James Bonds, and relocated from Texas to Oregon, to my hometown, the town that I grew up in, Corvallis, living now in the middle of what was a blueberry field, now surrounded by blueberries. I'm jealous because there's nothing like picking the fresh fruit and enjoying that there. And you talked about research, and there's a lot of there's a lot of research out there. And as it turns out, as you do the research and you read the Bible, there is not contradiction. They support each other.
Yes.
You talked about emotional intelligence, intellectual intelligence, spiritual intelligence. Some of the research says that your EQ, your emotional quotient, is more important than your intelligence, your IQ level in success. And I would say that it's much harder to measure the spiritual quotient.
Yes.
But you have 17 years of experience. So tell us what you've seen. How do you help these CEOs, these business leaders, these individuals who are all experiencing pain that we have all had?
Yes.
That's limiting them unnecessarily. How do you help them blend this together?
Yeah, you're exactly right there. You know, and what I haven't blended together is have them go back and ask them why they do what they do. You know, what life has pushed you into the point of now you're focusing on just you started this. Yes, you started this. Most of them started for the money, but also what about the money? Better lifestyle for your family, better situation for your future. What about this? Because and what I found too is that majority of them started it for passion for it, and the money came along. And I tell my clients all the time, especially when I talk to college students coming out, if you walk in your purpose, money has no choice but to pursue you. It's God's money anyway.
Well,
Money
you find that
money is
in Simon Sinek.
That's right.
He says, you know, money is that's an outcome. Right?
That's right. It is. If you walk in your purpose, money has to, it doesn't have a choice. It has to pursue you, which is also why people talk about how come bad people are rich? Well, that's because they're walking their purpose. So it's not, the law is the law. And so what I found with the CEOs, like your emotional intelligence is certainly a little more important, so to speak, than your intelligence as far as your IQ, because of the fact of you have to understand what you're seeing, understand what you're hearing, and understand how you're perceiving it. It's your construct is so important in life, period. Because the book of Proverbs, if you're a business person, haven't read it, shame on you. Because Proverbs is the detailed outline to all business success, to understanding money. It's all in Proverbs. And if you don't understand that money is being loaned by you from the creator of the universe, it's his anyway. He's loaned it to you to be good stewards of it. Now, as a business owner, you need to make sure that I was teaching a group actually a couple weeks ago now actually about this. When you hire somebody, you're responsible for their wife's well-being, for their kids' eating and well-being, for their dogs or pets' well-being and eating. You're responsible.
Yeah. And
so because you're taking them off the market. So to come and pursue and help you pursue your dreams. So the big thing with that is that if your emotional intelligence, if you're not ready to deal with things emotionally, all of us have something going on headspace. All of us have something going on in our headspace at some point in our life. So if you haven't got enough emotional and the IQ intelligence to go get help with that, go sit with. America especially has this stigma about if I talk to a counselor, if I get therapy, I'm crazy. That word is so misused, so used ignorantly.
Yeah.
And it's ridiculous. All of us need to sit, say something to someone in this life. There's nothing wrong with that. And most executives, most companies now offer you with an insurance to cover that.
We're big supporters of coaching for everybody. Everyone should have a coach.
Yes, that's right.
And just to give people a little background on emotional intelligence, that's being able to understand your own emotions, read the emotions in others, and also control your own emotions and impact the emotions of other people.
Yes.
And you combine that with the intelligence and with the spiritual understanding.
That's right.
You're able to make an impact. I also want to just let you tell people a little bit different what the difference is between consulting and coaching, because you're not in there helping them understand their business operations.
Yes, it's a big difference, a huge difference. And what I talk all the time, that's why when a client first wants to hire me, I meet with them, hear him, and find out that first session is what are you looking for from your mouth? What are you looking for from your EQ and your IQ? Because most of the time we don't know what we're looking for really. So sit with them, let them know Do I put on my coaching hat? Do I put on my consulting hat? Do I put on my mentoring hat? Because they're not even close to the same thing. Not even close to the same thing. And so people get confused by that. So, and one thing I want to throw this in there as well, too. I have a coach and I have a mentor. If you have someone who's a coach, doesn't have a coach, run as fast as you can. Because once we think we know it all, we are in trouble and we are a danger to society, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. And so what I tell coaching is listening to what you have to say. This is how I coach. Everybody's different. How I coach and my success in coaching is listening to what you're processing, how you're processing it, and to listen to you, absorb it from you, and give it back to you plainly so you can understand what you're thinking, what you're dealing with. Consulting is telling you what to do. Mm-hmm. That's not coaching.
Right.
Coaching is dissecting what you're already saying because you already know what to do. But going back to what I said earlier, life is so noisy that you can't hear yourself. So, and how I know that's successful in the coaching style is because I run 85% referral, which is insane for any business. And the reason why I run this high referral base because I am coaching individually. We are trained. You have boxes, you have theories, that's fine. You need that. But the dangerous part to me is when a coach puts you in a box to fit their needs, to make their coaching sessions easier. That is so wrong and dangerous to your mental health and to your spiritual health. I have all this yes, but I go into, and that's why my first session is, who are you? Why are you here? Who caused you the most pain? Why are you thinking the way you think? And then I make it plain back to you. Now, the one thing that my coach and my mentors always get on my case about sometimes because how I coach very hard. So sometimes my clients, again, they get it from me. I'll take their pain from them for a few days so they can have a moment of rest. Mm. Now, that's not necessarily healthy for me all the time.
So the empathy side of coaching.
Yes, but it's what I do because some people need a relief for a moment. So because they're carrying this heaviness on them that's not even theirs in the first place. Mm. So yes.
Well, Coach, the time goes so fast here on the Experience Local Believers in Business. I've enjoyed the conversation to this point, but we're going to run out of time in a couple of minutes here.
Yes.
So I want you to kind of sum up some key points that people need to take away from this and I'm giving everyone a chance right now. Get your pencil and paper out and write down these key tips. And also, how do people get a hold of you if they need a coach, which they do, or they know somebody who needs a coach, which they do?
Yes, let me tell you. So hold of me, it's going to be welldrivenlife.com, or just call me 866-775-5233. And I want to leave a few points with you. This is some 21 principles that I give people to kind of process. I want you to process these real quick here. All warfare is based on deception. All warfare is based on deception. Number 2, subdue the enemy without fighting. Subdue the enemy without fighting. A leader leads by example, not by force. In the midst of chaos, there's always opportunity. He will win who knows when to fight and when not to fight.
In 15 seconds.
Yes. Appear at points in which the enemy must hasten to defend, march swiftly to the place where you are not expected. Coach Bond, James Bond. You deserve to be happy today and live in peace.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you for tuning in to the Experience Local with Russ and Scott. Listen to the program on Spotify or wherever you listen to fine podcasts. Join in every Monday live at 9 a.m. Pacific on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook. We look forward to seeing you next time on the Experience Local with Russ and Scott.